Well, the great thing about the Rio Grande Valley is that it's extremely diverse, and so we popped over into Mission, Texas with Big Mike and Little Mike, Helle. So Mike, tell me a little bit about how you started farming.
Well, I started when I was in high school, but my family started on both sides back in the 40s. My mother and my father came down here and bought 10 acres of citrus, and I've grown the greens, the collards, kale, kohlrabi, cilantro, cabbage, and then onions also. That's the next crop. In the spring, I grow watermelons and honeydews, and also cotton, corn, and grain.
So basically what you're telling me is that you just work year-round, plant and harvest year-round.
We try to. Down here, it's kind of like that. We say down here, mucho trabajo pa poco dinero. That's a little money for a lot of work, so we got to keep after it.
All right, Little Mike, you tell me now, how did you get started in farming? Was it something that your dad kind of pushed on you, or was it something that it's just in your blood?
Well, to tell you the truth, I guess I got drug out to the field when I was little. It all started with actually peas. My dad wanted something to keep my brother and I busy during the summer, so as soon as we got out of school, we usually start picking these peas by hand for a fresh market deal, and we picked 7 days a week, stacked every night, loaded them into a cooler, and every other day we would load 900 sacks. So I was ready for football every season. I had an off season, so that's how I got put into it. And then after college, I decided to come back home and help Dad out.
And you have a little boy now too. Are you gonna drag him out to the fields when he gets a little older?
My grandson will drag him out here.
So it's in his blood.
Yeah,
he's ready.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, Mike, when I think of peas, I think of two things. Black-eyed peas for good luck, and then I think of awful peas and baby food.
Well,
correct me.
No, you're wrong. We got the best. There's a lot of people. This is a southern food, East Texas, Louisiana. They love them. I like them myself. You got to try them fresh. But we had, like here in the fall, we have six different varieties. We got black eyes, purple holes, creams, big daddies, elites, and they're all different. We grow them for seed. There's so many acres of each variety, and it takes about 85 to 90 days for a crop. Do the processing and treat the seed and put them in bags and resell them in the spring. The process of growing pea, we plant them by seed, and then they start, when they get 40 days old or so, they start blooming, here, little bloom, and they turn into small pea pods. You get 2, you'll get 3, some of them have 4 pods per stem. The more the better.
So it's like a 4-leaf clover, right? You find a 4-leaf clover, it's good luck.
You could say that. That doesn't happen a whole lot, but when that does happen, that's a good sign we'll have a good crop. And also we have one insect, a pea weevil, and they'll sting the small peas, and they'll lay a larvae in there, and if you don't stay on top of it, they'll hatch and they'll eat the seed. You can't use it, so we lose that. So we're on a spray program where it's usually once a week, and sometimes if they get bad, we squeeze it into once every 5 days. And occasionally we have to put a little fungicide on there to keep the disease out of them.
All right, there's a lot of peas out in this field, a lot. What is the biggest challenge to growing them? Is it weather, is it insects, weeds?
It's a little bit of everything. We, like my dad said a little bit ago, we're on a routine schedule for the pea weevil. That would be our biggest pest. The other challenges I would say is rain at harvest is absolutely horrible for this crop. This is a non-insured crop. It's a legume. It does a lot of good for our soil. At the end of the day, when we get this defoliated and ready to combine, if we get a spell of 4 or 5 days of rain, they're so low to the ground, they hold moisture, you get sprouted seed, and it's pretty much get the disc out and start all over for the following year. So,
one thing that I like to clarify when I'm filming with the people of agriculture is that not all chemicals are bad. Correct? You have to take care of the plant, make sure the plant is healthy, and if that entails giving it fertilizer, herbicides, fungicides.
You're exactly right. About 10 years ago, we started looking at organic methods, and I guess now the word is sustainable. But we actually sprayed emulsified fish on this crop. We brew our own compost tea, apply it through the drip and over the top. It's really important, to keep on a schedule, and we have a record-keeping program through Syngenta called AgriEdge that make sure that we're on label and we're doing the right things. And together, I think that we can produce a sustainable product that'll be healthy and profitable for farmers and healthy for people.
Maybe they can develop, or maybe you can develop a little brew to help me keep my houseplants alive, because I can't seem to keep anything alive. So, one question that I always like to ask when we're making these episodes is, what is one thing that gets both of you out of bed and farm? Because it's a hard job.
Well, pre-COVID, it was easy. I mean, it was easy to get up, but between COVID and last year we had flooding rains. We had 30+ inches in 90 days on our watermelon crop and on our row crop. And this year, if we can survive last year and this year and get past all this, that'd get me up again.
And what gets you up every day? A crying baby?
No, actually not. Sometimes I gotta wake him up, but just another day, another dollar, I guess. I gotta get out here, and there's a lot of people that depend on a farm for a lot of different things. You know, we employ a lot of guys on the farm that have to feed their families, and we just gotta keep going to support the farm, the guys that are on the farm, and then support and grow the crops to be the most nutritious, then to provide food on somebody's table. So there's a lot of responsibility out here and a lot of things that go into it. If you step back and look at the big picture, it's we may be an ant on that ant mound, but we're working hard to feed the world. So it's what gets me up every morning.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for having me out and teaching me everything that you did. I actually learned something new. But I better leave before I eat all these peas in the field, because they're fantastic.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So cheers, guys. Where will Ag on Wheels be next? Only I know and God. See y'all later.